Should I terminate my baby due to a Down syndrome diagnosis? Let me answer that question in a couple of ways. I'm going to look through it in a couple of lenses. Number one, if a mother has to leave the office after getting a diagnosis news and go home and search Google or ask this question, which is a valid question. If you have to leave and go start to search and question and ponder this question, then the answer lies somewhere right in between where your mindset is. Because if your mindset is in the right place, right there, you're going to say no. The next thing you have to think about is, number one, by nature we are sinners due to Adam's and Eve fall. But when Christ came, he provided a way out of that. Our mind never get totally renewed. We're still gonna need to renew our mind. So our old way of thinking, or old way of believing, or old way of feeling, it's still there. So a renewing of the mind is going to be needed in order for us to get our mind, state of our mind right. So should you terminate your baby due to a Down syndrome diagnosis? With a wrong mindset, a mindset that has never processed right or wrong or know who you stand for, you're going to struggle with this. And it's not your fault that you're going to struggle with this. But in some way, you can do something about it. What can you do about this? I asked the question, why should I terminate this baby due to a Down syndrome diagnosis? Now, I can answer you straightforward, or I can give you a reflective view. So why don't I give you a reflective view first, and then I give you a straightforward, right? So a reflective view can be, what is the state of your mind when you get that diagnosis news? And what would cause you to walk away and not to go process it? Instead of looking into that doctor's eye and said, no, let's move on here. What's next? Since we're going to have a special situation, what's next? So the state of our mindset is going to really reflect and causes us to leave, go home, stress, and let everybody else try to tell us what to do and what's right. Even though you know something inside of you is a little inclination that you probably is on the wrong path. But the state of our mind is very critical in this. Whatever mindset or frame that you're in, it's going to determine if you're going to use your yes or you're going to use your no and stand by either or. So the second view is to whether you should I terminate this baby due to a Down syndrome diagnosis? Doctor said termination is an option. Or you can just say no right there. So what set the person who can say yes now, or the person who can say no right there and then? What set them apart? What set them apart is the person going and get the diagnosis news, whether they knew they were going in for it or it was a surprise after baby is born, who can say, absolutely not. Come what may, we're going on this journey. What set that person apart from the person who leave and go worry and ask the question is that they make a determination that they are going on this baby journey. They're starting their family or they're extending the family, and whatever it is, we're going to stand by it because we know who God is. But the person who will never hear anything, the person who, mindset is probably totally different. They never hear about right or wrong. They never hear about God. They have no fear and awe of Him. They're going to struggle. And you're going to struggle because by nature, your mind is messed up. By nature, if you don't choose God, then there is no correction. There is no intuition building. So the question is, you ask the question, should I terminate this baby due to Down syndrome diagnosis? And my answer, It will be no. Why, Marsha? I hear of all this connotation. I hear of all these struggles. I hear of all the fact that this child is going to be a burden to me, to my career, to the rest of the family. You probably have the extended family on your backs. You know, the in-laws probably offering to terminate and offering the money to terminate. The spouse threatening to leave, and you are just like losing it. If you have to stand up for what's right, and it's only you, that's a worthy stance. Because the next thing you can think about is that you don't have enough information to know if this child is not going to be able to learn. And that's why we exist. That's why after I get the diagnosis news, I've made a decision that I'm going to be the voice for the voiceless. We're going to be the voice for you and your child. By what? By showing you what's possible. By showing you what life could be. By showing you the good and showing you the bad. By showing you the challenges. Also by showing you that in this situation could lie purpose. Could lie the very thing that you are fighting for. The very cause that you stand for. That's what we did. So what set us apart? What causes me to be able to, me and my husband to be able to say, absolutely not. Right there and then. There was no ambiguity whether we're going to think about this. Are we going to get back to you? Absolutely not. Let's move forward. We're going to be a special case, high risk and whatever. Let's go. But termination is not an option. I'll make a decision that there's no way termination could be an option. Because I've seen it. I've worked for over 2 decades serving the special needs community. Most of these children, they were either abandoned or they were given up for adoption. And I'm saying that depending on the state of mind that you're in when you get the diagnosis news, you're either going to say, hell no. You're either going to terminate, you're going to make a decision that you're going to abandon this child, or you're going to give up this child for unnecessary adoption. And I'm telling you, none of the 3 states is anything to celebrate. Oh, but if giving up for adoption is the thing that you can stand, because you don't have enough information to know if that's true, then do it. This video is not about adoption, right? This video is to answer your question, should I terminate or not? But it's hard to throw and give to you an answer just like that without saying to you that you have to examine your mind. And the mindset is going to determine whether you say no to your doctor or whether you say yes. By going home and go search everything up and then go make a decision. That's going to harm you later on in your mind. Just imagine your mindset not 100% because by default our mind is messed up due to Adam and Eve's fall, right? And on top of that, you're making a permanent decision on a temporary feelings. Because you don't have enough information to know if this child is going to be a burden. You don't have enough information to know if this child is not going to be able to learn. And so where we exist is to show you that they can learn. Is to show you that there can be a great life. Is to show you that people who are on the journey, they never give up. They never reject the fact that they make a choice, a lasting choice. If anything, they're saying, we'll do this over again. We will never change this fact. And if we get a chance to do it again, I'll do it again. If I was into the baby making mood again, and the age, we'll just continue having kids. But should you terminate that child? Marsha says, no, Okay, you don't have enough information to know if it's true. All the connotation that you hear. And your state of mind is not in a healthy place already. Because by default, Adam and Eve cause it's messed you up. And so whether you never hear about Jesus or you have heard about him and you're struggling, either way, you still don't get to make that choice because you know that your mind is not at that place. So should you terminate a child who was diagnosed with Down syndrome? No. Let's come on this journey. Let's watch this channel. Let's watch these resources. I want you to go watch the next video because the more information that you can gather to know what's possible is the better it's going to be for the healing and the renewing of your own mind and for the way in which you make decisions. Until next time, watch the next video and walk good.